Hi everybody, it's Christina Holloway, and today we're going to talk about 5 important questions that you want to ask yourself before you decide to quit your job. At the end of this video, you will have 5 good questions to ask yourself so that you make sure you're quitting the job for the right reasons. Now, here are the reasons why this is an important topic. These days, people are leaving their jobs for a number of reasons, but a lot of it is stress, inability to manage too many deliverables, overwhelm, and certainly unfulfillment in their jobs. This topic is intended to help you find clarity before you go and make a decision that could be considered emotional. We don't really want you to leave a job unless you have a full plan in place. So these 5 questions are intended to help you be prepared so that you know you're making your decision based on what's in front of you or really good evidence, data, etc., and not an emotional or completely spontaneous way. That doesn't mean that it's not valid if you have emotional reasons for wanting to leave. Situations can become untenable and there's reasons to quit immediately. On the other hand, there are situations that are starting to feel uncomfortable where you can ask yourself these questions and you'll feel good that at least if I answered these questions and I still want to go, I know that I put thought into it. Now, why is this important and why am I talking about it? Well, my name's Christina Holloway and I am an executive coach. I have thousands of hours of coaching time under my belt and I've been doing this for the past 7.5 years. I have spoken to many people in the C-suite and at the executive level, as well as great managers, people in the middle of the organization who are doing phenomenal work. I spend a lot of my time working with them on how to be successful in their careers, how to be successful in the job they currently have, and how to show up in a way that's good for them and good for the people around them. So if you find this information valuable, please stay tuned. And if you like this content and you want to hear more about my contributions to how to build an effective career, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video from me. All right, so let's get started. There are a few questions that you want to ask yourself if you decide that you're now ready to move on. All of them are related to making sure that you're in the right state of mind and that you're feeling emotionally prepared to make this move. So, question number 1, are you being responsive or are you being reactive? Now, you could have had a blowout with your supervisor. You could have had a project that went off the rails. You could very well be in an organization where nobody is listening to you, right? And I'm not being appreciated, so why should I stay? Okay. Now, you could also be in a situation where you realize things are now coming to a grinding halt. Nothing is moving forward and you're asking yourself, why am I still here? So there's a difference between being reactive and being responsive. We don't want to be in a reactive state when we decide to leave our job, unless, of course, you feel unsafe, you feel that you're not supported, and you feel like HR is not doing their best to make sure that you're working in a safe, comfortable space where you can do your best work without feeling threatened by the people around you. Always leave. However, if you're feeling like no one's listening to me, no one's working with me, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not getting anyone to listen to me, then you want to start asking yourself first, where am I having conversations and how can I make a bigger impact by coming at it from a different way? You may have decided I'm done, no one listens to me, or I'm finding that things are coming to a halt and it may be time for me to build my career in a different place. If you're feeling like you're responsive or reactive, ask yourself where you're coming from and why. Make a list. Where am I being reactive? Where am I being responsive? And if those two start to align, meaning they're not listening to me and my career is halted, they're not paying attention to what I have to say, or they're gaslighting me in meetings, or they're trying to minimize my contributions, and at the same time, there's no opportunities and I'm having a hard time finding a way forward, you might have a list that starts to coincide with each other. And if that's the case, it's okay for you to decide that you need to start looking around. Number 2, is your job still aligned with your values? I actually had a client recently who told me, you know what? This job has changed. This company has changed. They've moved into new areas that I don't feel comfortable with. Now, whatever your values are, this is important. Usually people decide to work at companies where there's alignment. We're working on areas that I think are going to make an impact and make a difference in the world, and I'm happy to be here. Or the values that they've created for the company are about transparency, respect for the individual, promoting women, people of color, making sure their diversity and inclusion program is really quite inclusive. Then these areas, if they start to change or shift, or you notice the company is not living up to those values, you may decide this is no longer the place where I want to work. I had one client who just told me this week, hey, I've been working at this company a long time. We were bought out by a bigger company. We always had autonomy in the work that we were doing and the products we were producing for our bigger company that owns us. Out of nowhere, that bigger company said, we no longer want to work towards those types of projects and that type of material. We now want to work in a different area. Well, what happened? The leadership team for his company left. They all started to leave, and it was a mass exodus. So you start to ask yourself, do I still align with the values that this new representation of the company is starting to put together? If there's no more alignment, then you can start telling yourself, or you can ask, where do I belong? Will I still feel like I'm contributing something of value if I'm now working for a company that has pivoted, gone in a different direction? And would I feel like a sellout? That is exactly the conversation I had with this person. He's like, if I stay here, do I feel like a sellout? Another company that's a competitor positioned themselves and said, hire us, we're not like them. So he's starting to ask himself, well, what arrangements did we make, and where did we compromise our creativity and our vision? He's got a tough decision ahead of him. But he also, if you have clarity on your values and you have clarity about where pivoting comes from in a business, you could very well be okay with it. I work with other companies where it's actually a company that focuses mostly on mergers and acquisitions. And the people who work there are like, I've been absorbed. I got absorbed. But I love this company. They provide better benefits. They give greater career advancement. They're doing better in revenue. So it depends. Ask yourself, are you aligning with the values when companies change and when there's new leadership? Are you still feeling like you're going to be a valuable member of the team? Number 3, if you're feeling apathy, ask yourself, what would you need from your boss in order to feel re-engaged with the job you have now? And ask yourself, would it be realistic? I encourage people all the time as a coach, tell me your biggest idea. Tell me, even if it's not realistic, what would you really like to have happen? So if you're feeling disengaged and you feel like you're not making any path forward, ask yourself, what really would need to change in the environment where I'm working right now so that I could re-engage and feel like I'm back to being a productive member of this team? And then if it seems like it's a really big idea, ask yourself, where is it realistic? Can I make an effort to try to re-engage that relationship or get back out there, try from a different angle, ask different questions, work with different people? Is there another opportunity for me to try to move this forward? Now, if your idea is too big, if you know you're dealing with a boss who's withdrawn, who's now starting to focus his energy on other people, you might say to yourself, I would love that re-engagement. However, I don't see it here for me now. I don't see that that's realistic. And that's okay. You now have a clear idea of how your relationships with the people around you will either help you or hurt you. And if they're no longer dialed in to your own objectives for career advancement, then there may be a disengagement here that's beyond what your efforts can help resolve. You may need to leave, and that's okay. You can now feel good about looking for other work. Number 4, do you want to leave the company, the industry, or your job? Where do you feel like you need to make a pivot or a change? If you no longer want to work with this company, hey, maybe they have made a pivot and everything about the values have changed and you no longer identify with being an employee at this company, that's okay, you can leave. Now, if you've decided you want to change industries, because my favorite is people who are like, I've worked the 9 to 5 for this many years and I'm ready to get out on my own. Are you leaving the industry? Are you creating your own company? Are you going out on your own to see if it's going to work? And are you ready to do that? Or are you just leaving your job? I no longer want to be a tech support analyst, and I've decided I'm now going to go back to law school. If you're struggling with any one of these areas and asking yourself, should I stay at this company or should I make a complete change and redirect my life? This is a good place for you to really make some really strong, clear decisions. Make a list, think about it, meditate on it, journal on it, whatever method you prefer to use. Talk to a friend or therapist, somebody. But start to ask yourself, have I reached the end of the plan for this company? I've worked with a number of clients who've told me, I'm not so sure I still belong here, but I don't want to leave. The benefits and the career opportunities are too good. Now, this is a little bit of an existential crisis because you're asking yourself, to what degree do I want to stay? And at what point am I holding myself back if I stay just one more year? At this point, you're starting to want to understand which of these reasons is the bigger reason for why you want to leave. Did you just find that you moved into this company by accident? They happened to hire you and you were like, sure, why not? And you found out after 5 years, why am I here? This isn't the industry I ever wanted to be in. This job is doing okay and it pays me well, but is this really where I'm having satisfaction? This is a great place to ask these questions. Am I still working towards something, or did I just happen to take a pit stop here so I could get the rest of my life in order? And once I start figuring out exactly what I want, is this job still going to take me where I want to go? There are a lot of people who took jobs because an offer came and they were like, sure, I'll try it. And it worked out really well for them. And there are a lot of people who will tell you, I desperately needed money, or I desperately needed health insurance, or I desperately needed something that this company was going to offer. And I took this job for the time being. And once I have my plan in place, I'm going to be ready to move. And that takes me to question number 5, which is, what is your plan? I recently spoke to a client who told me, my plan is to stay at this company for the next 5 years. After I'm done with this company, I've gotten my promotion to the next level, I'll be okay to leave and feel like I accomplished something. Why am I working with her? Because she's in turmoil right now. She's like, I'm only a year and a half in, and this is not how I expected this to go. So I'm struggling with visibility, stakeholders, working with my boss, a lot of turnover, trying to figure out where things are going to settle down. So she's starting to wonder if she really made the right decision, right? So if you have a plan, though, your plan is going to help you understand why you're there, how long you really want to be there, and then gives you permission to leave when you're ready to go without you feeling obligated to stay or changing your mind because a group of people at work said, you're great, we'd love to keep you here. It's always nice to get a compliment, but don't let that interfere with your career development. If you have a full career plan, and it doesn't need to be ambitious, asking yourself, how long do I want to stay at this company? What kind of skills and experiences do I want to build? And then where do I want my career to go next? These are great questions to ask about how to even build a short-term plan, 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. But I'll tell you, a 10-year plan is very difficult. Things change by the halfway mark. Things start to pivot and move, and whatever you envision for yourself, if it's very specific, in 10 years, it's not going to look that way. And you don't want to be disappointed by that. If you start to create broad objectives, so you start very specific in the first 3 years, go a little more broad by 5 years, and then go really broad by 10 years, you have a plan that's flexible enough that you're still going to find success inside that funnel without feeling like you compromised anywhere in your journey. One way you can get this to work is starting with a 3-year plan of, I'm going to build my level of expertise in this area. In a 5-year plan, I expect to be promoted at least to the next level. And in a 10-year plan, I expect to be working in that department, doing that type of work, hopefully in that level or above, but working with more compelling people. So you can see how you can have short-term goals that are very tangible and then work your way up to a 10-year plan of bigger long-term goals that keep you in a certain area without too much definition about how things are going to play out, because People change, companies change, bosses move and get relocated, and opportunities show up where you never ever thought they were going to. And you have to be flexible enough to say, I didn't see that one coming, but I'm going to entertain this idea because it sounds like a compelling way for me to really build my career development plan. All right, so that's it for this video. Today we talked about 5 questions you can ask yourself before you quit your job, just to make sure that you're quitting for the right reasons and that you feel peace about it when you do decide to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please feel free to subscribe and click the like button. And if you liked this type of material and content, please click the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.